culture is actually
The funny thing is that less than 5 years ago, these two teams met in Foxborough for an AFC Championship game. This time around, all we're asking is this question. How did Jacksonville fluke their way into that season? The Jags are in complete freefall, and this match was merely reinforcement of it. Bill Belichick loves him some jailbait QB. He's a sick fuck, and he'll have his defense do vile, disgusting things to Trevor Lawrence. He'll do it to the entire Jacksonville franchise. Someone put this man on a sex offender list. He's violating the Jags in every orifice. The worst part is that Jacksonville's just sitting there and taking it. Emotionless. They're already suffering from extreme pain. All signs are pointing to them keeping Trent Baalke as GM because... what, does he make a good mac and cheese? It certainly isn't his illustrious record of player management, I'll tell you that. Jacksonville's run by clowns, we all knew this. Patriots, this beatdown is ugly enough. Take your playoff berth and prepare yourselves for Miami. The last tank bowl of the season. It's a special time for the New York Giants. No matter who loses, the Giants win. But they know the stakes of this pivotal jockeying for draft position. When you willingly start Mike Glennon, you already know you're losing more than this game. You're losing dignity. And it's all for that fantastic tank. The Bears might be starting Andy Dalton, but they might as well have been starting a wooden plank. They still would have won by multiple scores. The fucking Afghan government put up a more valiant defensive cobble than the G-men did in this game. You. Yes, you. Sitting in a chair on the toilet watching this shit threw for more yards on Sunday than the Giants did. The definition of insanity is doing the same shit repeatedly and expecting different results. But wait, this is different. Didn't you hear Joe Judge's rant about how there are like 2 practice squad players that want to be on the Giants? He's tough and no nonsense because he's from Philly. And he'll pelt you with batteries if you question his methods. If ownership won't get the message that this is a clown show, maybe a former player or two could scream it to them. Dave Gettleman's an incompetent piece of shit? How is this supposed to be news? We thought this was going to be a good game to watch. It's not that Miami's been playing insanely weak opponents during the winning streak. Have you seen how well the defense has been? I was considering this as well, not gonna lie. In our cold reality against the Titans, rain wasn't the only thing hampering the Dolphins. It was their entire damn team. The defense was dead on arrival, the offense followed suit, and Tua developed a fumbling fetish so deadly that he's now indebted to the Triads. The soft schedule narrative is swelling with pride in this outcome. Miami is flopping on a beachhead. Tennessee knew the stakes of this game and slapped their southern opponents silly. It's been a weird year for the Titans, but they managed to pull through in the end despite all thrown in their way. With how well they played today, you'd have thought they went through no adversity at all in 2021. Not with how they now hold claim to not only the AFC South, but the top goddamn seat in the conference. Good work. And look, I have something for Miami as well. Endless death.
Miami Dolphins eliminated.
Atlanta, stop pretending you're relevant. We know how this ends, boys. You try to posture like you're above your station in life and fall face first into a vat of acid. I get you're playing with house money, I don't care. This is what the Falcons do, despite somehow going 7-2 in one-score games this season. Still a better outcome than the relentless choking, but this is where it ends. You had your lead at halftime because Josh Allen is the only thing that makes the Bills' offense run, and he was throwing free picks like it was a betting insider. And that's good enough for Atlanta. In the second half, Buffalo realized that they need this game for their own dreams and outsprint old Falcon to the finish line. I'm not dismissing Atlanta outright. There were a few times where they got close to scoring, but isn't that the story of this damn franchise? Letting prime chances slip through their grasp against all odds?
Atlanta Falcons eliminated.
The Bills, meanwhile, continue their march with a secured playoff berth. Brady's coming to his second home. One of his favorite pastimes has been walking into MetLife and defecating at midfield. Think Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago? Tom Brady could run for governor of New York and have a good chance of winning. Tampa Bay should be woken up sometime soon. They're looking pretty damn sluggish to start. Is beating their opponent really this hard to do? All the Jets have is a young roster and 10,000 reasons to play hard for a new contract. It's not like they have much of anything else, but I will give them credit. They're playing quality football. New York's doing what they need to do to win. Well, they're even up by 14 in the second half. All they have to do is finish them off and they'll be American heroes. I hate to inform you that we all bet on the wrong horse. The Buccaneers, like many times in Tom Brady's career, chip away at that allegedly insurmountable lead to make it more manageable. We can talk about how the Jets are charging forward, about how they can seal the deal, but narratives don't exist without evidence. What the hell do you think happened? They shit the bed on a fourth down conversion and gave Tom Brady a chance to fulfill another goddamn narrative. One that's been hated by most of the NFL world for decades.
Catch made to the end zone. Cyril Grayson.
Big shock, Brady pulled out another goddamn miracle because he shits on the Jets like his morning dump. Le'Veon Bell, of all people, gets his revenge against the team that cut him. These are the only important things that happened in this game. Nothing else occurred. Nothing whatsoever. I am in no way going to talk about how Antonio Brown is an irreparable cancer and possibly dealing with undiagnosed CTE. I was told by Bruce Arians that this guy had turned a new leaf. We couldn't have predicted this would happen because of some fake vax cards? No. AB was on his last leash and he somehow fucked a situation that was all but foolproof. In the third quarter, Bruce Arians told Antonio Brown to go into the game despite an ankle injury he apparently told no one about. Little did Bruce know that he ruptured him like Arians did his Achilles. The diva needs to take center stage. With half a second of thoughtful consideration of the fans and his teammates, he removed his uniform on the sidelines and showed the world his fantastically big chest. AB's a cancer walking down the field. He's at the 2, the 1, touchdown, end of his NFL career. He's pumping up the crowd, celebrating with the ultimate end zone dance as he rides off into the sunset. Johnny Rotten said it best, it's better to burn out than to fade away. Antonio Brown embraces this thinking as his Bucs tenure is over. I know MetLife Stadium is a shithole and he's being shadowed by a TikTok influencer, but this is quite the way to go out. From a potential gold jacket to needing nothing but a stray jacket. AB is going to be a cautionary tale about ego and self-destruction for a long time. He's not only Lolcow of the Week for this week, he's retroactively Lolcow of the Week for last week as well. Seriously, man. Get some fucking help. Only place this dude belongs is in a psych ward. We are all apparently supposed to feel bad because Washington's been dealing with some real-life shit. Bitch, you think your real-life shit is notable? Go join the Raiders. They'll tell you all about the tribulations of their season. Do any of us believe Philadelphia gives a damn? Do you think they'll play nice because of a few misfortunes? Fuck you, they're bringing their own benches this time. They've got playoffs to shoot for, baby. The Eagles may be down 2 scores at half, but didn't the Reskins know that they're going to lie down and die? It's been in their DNA for roughly 20 years. Trust me, no one's going to feel bad when Washington eventually loses this match. All the shit ownership's pulled this year, both off the field and on top of their fans. Are you in any wonder why Jalen Hurts is playing a quietly efficient game? It'll be enough to give Philly a 1-point lead, but here's where their defense comes in. Forcing a critical turnover to help the Eagles fans that made the trip down feel happy in life. But it's not enough. Washington still isn't dead yet. Heineke hasn't gotten it through his thick skull that destiny awaits the Eagles. Let's change that for him.
Heineke looking end zone, and it is intercepted by Rodney McLeod.
That's more like it. Philadelphia pulls off another crucial win to solidify the impossible. A wild card spot is theirs. What an impossibly delicious revelation. This calls for celebration. Think Dan Snyder would try to spend money to not turn FedEx Field into a metal death trap?
Washington Reskins eliminated.
The culture is actually damn good.
Raider Nation mourns. We This is another rough moment in a season of brutal tragedies. One of the franchise's all-time greats in John Madden is dead. Somewhere up there, he's calling this game with Pat Summerall and smiling in his broadcast cloud. Indianapolis is going to be a big challenge. Carson Wentz tested positive for COVID earlier in the week, but thanks to new protocols, he's able to play despite his unvaccinated status, along with many others. Do you think that matters to the Raiders? Because it really doesn't. Las Vegas may not have much in terms of good fortune, but what you can't deny is that they have heart. Better teams would have thrown in the towel weeks ago. But they are blessed with two things today: Madden's ascension to the football pantheon and the almighty coin. It does predict they will win, but it's been wrong before. As John Madden looks on from above, do you remember how the immaculate reception always haunted him past his coaching days? Perhaps today he will get some semblance of closure. The Raiders have taken the lead into the fourth, but Indianapolis has resolve. They will fight and claw for field position, taking over 9 minutes off the clock to tie the game. What the Raiders need is an outright miracle. Las Vegas will need every divine intervention they can think of to bring them glory on this sacred day. If you can believe it, they're doing it. They're achieving what people thought was impossible. The 11 men on offense transformed into Raiders greats of the past on this drive. And with their efforts, Daniel Carlson seals the deal.
Carlson from 33. His kick is good. Raiders win.
Las Vegas's unprecedented season of twists and turns continues on with a gutsy victory. It wasn't pretty, but we know why this was meant to be. John Madden blessed them from above. The coin is now 15-1, but it will have to be wrong again for prophecy to come true. All that stands in their way from a playoff berth are the Chargers. Eat a turducken, Raiders. You've earned it today. I think I've been too harsh on the Raiders. We need to talk about some of their unsung heroes on the field. Guys like Nate Hobbs, a fifth-round pick who's emerged as a legitimate threat in the secondary. It's about time we finally honor his excellent season with an arrest for DUI. Dude, are you fucking serious? Were you paying attention at all to what happened to Henry Ruggs? Can any more bad fortune befall a franchise in a year? Dear God. The Ravens have been playing with fire for far too long. If you saw them at any point throughout the season, you'd have known most of their wins were based on luck or acts of God. But the injury bell will eventually toll. Someday the price paid in bones and ligaments will be too great for a team to overcome. When one thing goes right, two other misfortunes come to take them down. Lamar is still dealing with a hobbling ankle injury, so Tyler Huntley will have to prove imitation is equal to the original once again. Fortunately, Matthew Stafford is reminding us all why he never led Detroit anywhere in the past. For whatever reason, he falls apart in critical situations. 3 horrible turnovers at Baltimore in a position they haven't been in often as of late. In the league. I just wish their drives wouldn't keep stalling out, but Justin Tucker should be well rested from his lack of use on final drive touchdowns. It's now the fourth quarter, and an uneasy feeling embalms Baltimore. The Rams are slowly chipping away at their lead. The Raven offense can't sustain momentum, but there is a chance to put it away. They're near the goal line, and all they have to do is stall out again. You fucking had them, man. How can you implode like that? Do you know how porous your defense has been due to a litany of ailments? We've been down this road before. They'll make the opposition quarterback look like a Hall of Famer while anus is clenched throughout the Chesapeake. But maybe this is different. They're stopping them in the red zone, and all they need is one more to escape.
On fourth down, Stafford slings, Beckham holds on!
Shit, I forgot Matthew Stafford's also incredible with the 2-minute drill. Ravens, don't do this.
Stafford rolls, throws, end zone, Beckham, touchdown! Rams lead!
Oh no. The football gods betrayed them again. Their third devastating loss in 4 weeks. This time when victory was all but assured for them. The Rams steal a win from under their opponent's feet. And it's pretty much ended the Ravens' season. Not only do they have to beat Pittsburgh despite no momentum whatsoever, they have to beat Jags fans next week. On top of other things. It's over, Baltimore. Cut off some heads in the coordinator ranks. The time has come.
You had an opportunity, and you blew it.
A matchup no one had circled on the calendar back in September. The former heavyweight champion of the world against football's Little Mac. Mac's taken down most opponents thrown at him and now gets to face Mr. Sandman in a clash to prove his legitimacy. The offense will be furious. The Chiefs' attack is potent and relentless. and the Bengals will have to match blows step by step. But they have weapons to counter these waves of onslaughts. Jamar Chase's legend is growing as fast as his breakaway speed down the sidelines. Anyone who doubted his selection due to more pressing concerns can admit their sin. He is moonlighting as a demigod, not only breaking franchise records, but NFL records with amazing catch after amazing catch. He and Burrow are the keys to any chance at success. Kansas City's offense has been nigh unstoppable for weeks, but Cincy is hungry for their chance. Things are getting tight in the second half. What was once a 14-point deficit is now becoming a Bengal lead. They've successfully adjusted to their opponent's strategy of cover their best receivers one-on-one down the sidelines with dimes. The Chiefs did everything in their power to regain control of the game, but the Bengals' defense holds and forces a field goal to tie. Cincy has a chance to do something truly great. Something that nobody expected out of them coming into this season. And all they need to do is stamp it into reality. It's usually the darkest before the dawn, and it has risen with Chase on a 3rd and 27. I feel like I'm watching the same play over and over again, but this is it. They're so close to the goal line, but they just can't push through. It's 4th down, and the Bengals have chosen to be bold. They're going for it.
Here they go. They go for him. 4th and goal. Burrow. First option not there. Gives it up to Mixon. Looks for an opening. Oh, it's going to be close. There's a flag down.
Oh, Lord, offsetting penalties. We have to do this bullshit again?
Just throw the fade and live with it. Burrow rolling out. Looking. He almost got hit. Throws it. Flag in the end zone.
Insane luck. They gave Cincy a new set of downs. They can run down the clock. They can win it with a chip shot. What mysteries does Pandora's box have to offer?
McPherson. The kick is good. And the Bengals have won the AFC North.
The motherfucking madmen, they pulled it off. David has taken down Goliath. In front of a once broken faithful, the Bengals have secured their biggest win in quite possibly decades. A new era may very well be upon us. One where Cincinnati emerges from the doldrums once again to take vengeance on those that bested them. In the most unprecedented story of the year, the Bengals have won the AFC North. It's a bittersweet moment for Seattle. This has the potential to be the last home game for both Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. Nothing set in stone yet, but if this is truly it for both of them here, they went out in style. A flashback to the golden days of Russ's magic and booming legions. Of roaring crowds and a zeal that threatens those that dare enter this hallowed domain. Tim Boyle is forced to start for Detroit, but it wouldn't have mattered if Goff was healthy for this. Seattle's offense found a life they've been sorely lacking all season. Rashad Penny had the greatest game of his oft-injured career, and it may help him find a bigger payday in free agency. They made the Lions' defense look as useless as it's usually been with such an undermanned unit. This one was meaningless in the grand scheme of things, but this might be some form of closure. An ending to the greatest era in this franchise's history. You just wish it could have been more, but that's getting into speculation. The Jets can be pissed off elsewhere. San Francisco has another chance to add distance to the Wolves that are howling at the door, but it will have to be done without Jimmy Garoppolo. His hand injury will force him to bow out for the future. The truth. The Lance. His high-end abilities were flashed but weren't consistent. Houston is playing a very tough game. Someone should tell them that their organization sucks and they're going to be punting most of their players away for 7th-round picks. As a result, things were looking quite hairy for a bit, but Trey Lance showcased what made him a 3rd overall pick. Elijah Mitchell returned to his excellent running behind a stout line. The defense successfully held a rather weak Texans unit, give or take, but they did what they had to do. It wasn't all that sexy, but the 49ers continue to maintain pace. Next week, however, is the true challenge. The Rams. Domination against them must continue. San Francisco must win, or else a horrible fate might befall them. Did anybody seriously believe that Denver had any chance of winning this game? On paper, sure, they have the defense to wreck shit, but their offense has all the chemistry of mixing an ammunition cache and a spark. Explosions. And not the good kind. Wow, everyone! The Broncos failed miserably whenever they had a chance to make an impact on the game! Is this supposed to be breaking news? Anyone who's paid the slightest attention knows that this team makes Fred Rogers look more offensive. All this confirms is a date with destiny in Week 18 for the final wildcard spot. not San Diego wins relatively easily against what's supposed to be an opponent, and what some allegedly called the playoff contender at some point in time. Now that I find funny. People thought this team could have made it far with this shitty offense? Don't make me laugh harder than I am. I think this deserves the reward of sending this team on a hot date with some fishes at the bottom of the ocean. It's pretty fair, don't you think?
Denver Broncos eliminated.
The fortunate thing is that New Orleans has an incredibly soft schedule to end the year. The bad part is that they still have to win these games to have any shot of securing a playoff berth. They may be facing Carolina. They may be the epitome of an ineptly run team, but New Orleans has limitations of their own. Their offense has been stuck in quicksand for most of the year. Do you know what the proper solution to that dilemma is? Facing off against an offense even shittier than yours. In the most shocking turn of events, Carolina did not switch out quarterbacks in nearly every situation. Both defenses quickly realized that the best way to win is to force the men behind center to make plays. For Taysom Hill's sake, he did enough. In another surprise, the Saints scored points on back-to-back drives. 11 unanswered points! They can score touchdowns? This is revolutionary in the post-Breeze world. And there's even more good news for New Orleans. The Panthers have to trust Sam Darnold with a final drive.
With just one timeout left. Darnold intercepted!
That ended predictably. With this win, the Saints speak 3 words. I'm alive, bitch. It'll be tough, but if they get some help, they'll sneak into the playoffs. They'll get destroyed there without a quarterback, but false hope is better than no hope, I guess. So now the Cardinals realize that they had to generate momentum heading into the playoffs. Better late than never, I guess, but Arizona finally went back to flexing their might on the poor fools that try to stun on them. Kyler Murray is the savior of coaches that fail to game plan properly. In so many ways, his fantastic performance bailed out Arizona from an embarrassing freefall, and proved to the world why he's undefeated at the shrine to Jerry Jones's ego. If I were Jerry Boy, I'd wonder if the 26th camera shot of me and my mega squeak captures my panic at the team offense. Besides one loud blip against Washington, it's been damn awful for the past month and change. Dak doesn't look confident. The schematics are out of sync. They can't convert third downs. Not to mention Michael Gallup is now out with a torn ACL. Yes, the Cowboys managed to make it a game in the second half, but then we realized that Mike McCarthy's only strength is being carried by high-end talent. The reason why is on the final drive. This play before the 2-minute warning was a fumble. However, McCarthy couldn't challenge it since the dumbass burned all his timeouts beforehand. Game over. Cardinals win and stay alive for their division. Dallas, you there? You want to be a one and done again? Because this is how that happens. Get your shit together. Do or die for the Vikings. It may be too late for them, but for any chance of success, they'll have to win against hated older brother at Lambeau when Aaron Rodgers is wearing the white turtleneck of death. I'd say Kirk Cousins should do something, but Corona Chan broke through the plexiglass. He's out for this contest. Wait a second, this is perfect! Minnesota can now blame every single one of their failures this season on those damn dirty unvaccinated players. They don't have to look from within at anything, it was just bad luck and betrayal that did them in. Minnesota could ignore their failure to contain 4-man rushes, generating the production of a sloth on offense, being burned repeatedly on opposing receiver routes, having some of the worst coaching and play calling in the league, and getting less pressure than an 80-year-old grandma on Aaron Rodgers. The real issue is those unvaccinated players forcing them to be terrible in every facet. Ignore the wasted season. Green Bay can beat them easily, that's fine. They'll send Minnesota a gift basket of severed heads for securing the #1 seed later. But tonight they will feast and dance until the sun rises.
Minnesota Vikings eliminated.
You guys gonna fire Zimmer already? Holy shit! The final ride of Big Ben. Do you seriously believe that this game can be relegated to Sportsball? With the sentimentality of this moment? What are you, a Browns fan? If you are, I'm sorry. Your team was the biggest disappointment in all of football. You thought you were going to the playoffs. Well, your only reward is becoming as dead as Baker Mayfield's throwing ability.
Cleveland Browns eliminated.
We had quite a bit happen this week, didn't we? A good chunk of the playoff picture has come into view, and only 3 invitations remain in this contest to the death. First, however, the divisions. The AFC East is still up for grabs, but Buffalo is simply a win and clinch scenario. New England needs both a Bills loss and a win against Miami in Miami, their kryptonite. The NFC West is the final division available, and the Rams have advantage there. For the Cardinals to secure it, they need San Francisco to beat LA, and they'd have to take care of business against Seattle. The AFC wildcard spots up for grabs are simple in theory. The Colts have Jacksonville on the docket but haven't won there since 2014. If they break that curse, they're in. The Raiders and Chargers will play each other on Sunday night for one of those spots, and it should be a barn burner of a match. The Ravens and Steelers are barely alive, but they would not only have to win against the other, they'd have to root for Jacksonville to win. That is the only way either make it in. The NFC wildcard is less complex. If San Francisco wins, they're in. If they lose and New Orleans beats Atlanta, the Saints sneak into it behind their back. The rest of Week 18 will be in positioning. The NFC is already wrapped up with Green Bay getting the top seed, but the AFC is Tennessee's for now. Kansas City needs to win and have the Titans lose to reclaim number 1. The Bengals and Patriots are still technically alive for it, but would need Kansas City, Tennessee, and the other suitor to lose in order to secure it. Not to mention New England would need Buffalo to lose as well. Things are getting a bit hot under the collar, aren't they? The clock is about to strike midnight. Make sure your team is a chair, because if they don't, these teams will violate the Golden Mandate.
Don't get eliminated!
Football is a brutal game. May the bell toll for the fallen.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Thus concludes another week of this sermon on the field. Amen.
Now, you guys ain't been in the building for 2 years now with this coach. All right, but I'll tell you right now. All right, if you're in the damn building, you walking through our locker room, you ain't seen that crap you saw before. I can tell you we got more players here who are going to be free agents next year, all right, who are in my office every day begging to come back. I know that. Okay, I know that. Or players that we coached last year that still call me twice a week talking about, you know, how much they wish they were still here even though they're getting paid more somewhere else. Because I ain't going to sit up here like some other coward sitting behind the microphone and put his players on blast.